Lots of people are interested, it seems, from the YouTube comments, about why people make the choices they do in removing some of the players that they vote to have out of the game. Everybody has to go, right? In order for you to win, all the rest of them need to go. So what's critical, what's most important, I think, is that, like Sandra says, it needs to be somebody besides me. That's the main point. After that comes into play whatever strategy you can muster with respect to what might benefit you most. And certainly you don't want to get rid of somebody you know by doing that will undermine your chances of moving forward or being successful at the end. But when it comes down to whether or not people prior to the merge, for example, are physical threats or are, thought of as, the biggest game threats in general, like a lot of people were in this season 40. It really has to come down to not just that description of an individual, but where in the game are you with respect to that individual? What opportunities are potentially available with respect to keeping that individual in the game or getting rid of them? It is not what some folks have suggested. Chay Miller, one of the people who responded to the YouTube video and asked this question, seemed to be suggesting that it wasn't appropriate to get rid of physical threats prior to the merge, and that would undermine your chances of getting to the merge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's not true. That's not the case. It may make the most sense to get rid of the physical threats prior to the merge. If you have the ability and the alliance established within a particular group of people to get rid of someone you recognize is a terribly physical threat, an incredibly gifted specimen who's going to shine in most physical challenges, if you don't get rid of him or her prior to the merge, it could be very difficult thereafter, because with individual immunity, that person often has an opportunity to protect themselves time after time. Prior to that merge, if you get rid of them, yes, you're removing someone who potentially could help your team get to the merge, but your team still has a significant opportunity and probably a pretty good possibility that they could win something. You don't know what the challenges are going to be. They may not be physical. They may not be all physical. How many of these challenges do you watch people get through the physical part first and lose the challenge? Because the finish of the puzzle or whatever is set up at the end isn't about how physically you got through it, but how you finished it in calculating whatever you needed to, or finishing the puzzle, or building whatever you needed to build. Those kinds of things are what contribute to a team's ability to win enough to stay in to get to the merge. If your team doesn't win a couple of times prior to the merge, so long as you are adept and playing the actual game of Survivor and you're not the target, you're not voted out, it shouldn't matter to you if one of those folks is gone, because your teams are going to switch. Probably, as it's been playing out season after season now, switch up before the merge and then the merge. So people are shifted around intentionally to stir up the game alliances, to make people less stable in their plans. That's intentional. I don't think that's a bad part of the game. I think it's frustrating, and I think sometimes it can unfairly disadvantage certain people if it's done intentionally with knowledge of what's happening in the game based on having watched the dailies. That's all I'll say about that for right now. But it is not worth keeping someone who could be an incredible threat just because they are physically competent. You've really got to always contemplate when is the best time to get rid of whom. 80% of you who are listening to these videos have not subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe. Just hit the subscription button and hit the notification button, and you'll be informed when I have another video up for you to listen to. After you've subscribed, comment. Comment positively, comment negatively. No holds barred. Just say what you're thinking. That's what will make our exchange even more valuable. As I'm able, I'll create new videos responsive to that commentary. So like away, or dislike on that rare occasion you may feel the need to do so. But either way, thank you.